Hello, hi. This is Chris again, and this is my vlog for readings number 9, which is free culture. And at first, I was a little confused by this, but after reading the pages 1 through 13 that you asked us to, I think I kind of have a better understanding of it. So pretty much, free culture, it's about like copywriting and like how do you know how to put into words like copyright and software and culture and like what you own and what you don't own, and how when you put things out there, whether or not you can own that. I think that's pretty much what I meant. I mean, I was trying to read through it, and it says um, that, well, it started out with this guy named Richard Stallman. He quit this job and he started this thing called the free software movement, and it pretty much was like all about traditional copyrights and like the list of restrictions on the user and whatnot. And so after that, this Stanford or Harvard guy named Lawrence Lessig, he was a law professor. He founded a thing called Creative Commons, and then he wrote the book from which we read those 13 pages called Free Culture, which that was like the thing that launched the free culture movement. So after reading through it, it's pretty much how big media uses technology and the law to lock down culture and control creativity, which is a pretty scary thought. So when it comes to like integrating that with my life, like I don't want, I'm like everyone else, I don't really want people to lock down my creativity and have control over how I do what I do or decide what to do and whatnot. And that's, I think free culture, like reading this kind of gives you, like those 13 pages gives you an idea of what you're in control of and what you're not in control of. So like that's another thing when it comes to integrating it with like art. When an artist makes something, it's theirs, but that doesn't mean it's always necessarily copyrighted or that they own it. And that's when that free culture thing comes in, where I mean, they're putting it out there, but they're taking a chance of not keeping it, not owning it because it's out there, so someone else could take it or use it. Like in one of the previous readings about those two Italian artists who pretty much essentially stole other people's art. This is when that free culture comes in. But I was reading through, and the best way they explained it was saying that tradition is the way our culture gets made. As I explained in the pages that follow, we come from a tradition of free culture, not free as in free beer, but free as in free speech, free markets, free trade, free enterprise, free will, and free elections, which is our entire country is made out of freedom. And so a free culture supports and protects creators and innovators. And then the way it does this is directly granting intellectual property rights. And that especially is so important, like when artists and photographers, because they could take a photo or they could make a painting, and they sign it, but that doesn't mean it's theirs. That means but they have a right because that's their intellectual property, if that makes sense. And so yeah, he describes how important it is, and this definitely affects everyone, especially like me and my life and everyone my age, because everything is so online, and our culture is all interconnected on the web, and we do everything on the computer and Facebook and YouTube and everything. As soon as we put it out there, we don't even think about whether or not that's ours and whether and who's seeing it or what they can do with it. So the free culture thing is like a scary thing, but also a very important thing, like to keep in mind and to put a focus on. Um, this is a good reading. I mean, I don't know. I think I got a good grasp of it. Hopefully, I explained it well. Oh, and the final question you ask, you say, if you were writing your own book and wanted to include a section of free culture in your book, at what address would you write to Lessig for permission to use? From what I gathered, you would probably just write to. I'm just kidding. You'd probably write to the Penguin Press. I don't know, 375 Hudson Street, New York, New York. I would imagine. I mean, he works there, or he got published through there, so you'd probably get a hold of him like that. So yeah, that's that's my reading number 9, Free Culture.